Yes, hello my viewers. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this channel. This time around, we are going to talk about entrepreneurship. So students of entrepreneurship, I want you to get ready. And we are looking at entrepreneurship, book 3, new curriculum. New curriculum students, where are you? Come closer and we study. Come closer, like and share, subscribe, like and share. Then we continue with our lesson. I want you to get a pen and a book, a notebook. You write down something we are going to talk about. So in this episode, we are going to look at tax administration. That is the last chapter of book 3. If you check in your last book, in your book 3, the last chapter there is, I wanted to see if I have a copy here, but I think I have no copy of book 3. But we are going to talk about tax administration. It is one of the chapters of book 3. And it is very brief. I'm going to summarize it for you. So, my viewers, when we talk of tax administration, here we are looking at the mechanism through which taxes are assessed. We are looking at the mechanism or the ways through which tax assessment is done. When I say tax assessment, I mean determining how much individual is supposed to pay, how much each individual is supposed to pay. Because not all people or not all businesses are supposed to pay the same tax. People earn different levels of income. So we cannot all pay the same tax. An individual working and at the end of the month ends up earning 200,000 or 400,000 cannot pay the same tax as an individual earning 5 million. It would be unfair to the person earning 400,000. So tax assessment is done, then tax collection is also done under tax administration. So in other words, when we talk of tax administration, we mean the mechanism through which tax assessment, tax collection, enforcement of taxation, enforcing the laws concerning taxation, because not all people are willing to pay taxes. There are those who have to be forced to pay taxes for their businesses, for their incomes. So tax enforcement, and lastly, accountability. After URA has collected the taxes, it has gathered the taxes, it has to give accountability to the ministry under which it operates. And URA operates under the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. In Uganda, URA is in charge of tax administration. It is a body in charge of tax what? Administration. And that body operates under what we call the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. Now, we are now asking ourselves a question. What are the roles of URA? I've told you URA is the body in charge of tax administration. But what are the roles of URA? What is the work of URA as a tax collection or a tax assessment body? Of course, I have already mentioned some of the roles of URA. One, it assesses how much each individual is supposed to pay. It is in charge of tax assessment. It is the one to determine how much each individual, how much each business is supposed to pay as tax. They will come to your shop. They will come to your supermarket, go through your books of account, your records, and check how much are you earning as profit, and check how much are you spending. So after knowing your incomes, they'll be in position to determine the tax rate you are supposed to pay. So it is the work of URA to come and assess on the ground that somebody earning between 1 million and 2 million is supposed to pay this much tax. So that is what we call tax assessment. Then 2, it is in charge of collecting taxes. It collects taxes from businesses, from individual people through their incomes. After knowing how much you are supposed to pay, the other role of URA is to collect the taxes. And of course, people submitting their taxes in different ways. Then the other role is accounting for the taxes collected. They must give accountability to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. They must tell the Ministry of Finance that this is how much we have collected. This is how much we have failed to collect as tax. Then at the end of the day, URA is in a position to be clear. Its name is in a position to be clear. Then another role is that it registers taxpayers in Uganda. It is in charge of registration of taxpayers. All this is under tax administration, as I told you. And how are these taxpayers registered? Through obtaining what we call tax identification numbers, what we call TIN numbers. So they register you. The moment you get a TIN number, it means now you are officially registered and you are liable to taxation. Another role is providing accurate data to other government agencies like Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Because you remember we had a census in Uganda last year. Was it this year? This very year, 2024. So all those details must be picked from URA to UBOS. UBOS will come up with statistics, with data showing how many people in the country pay taxes. But where does UBOS get that information? It gets that information from URA what? URA. All those and others are the roles of URA. Those are the roles of URA. So I want to first pause a bit. I want you to follow up. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the stakeholders in tax administration. I'm going to talk about the stakeholders in tax administration. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned.